only two forums in the world that I will make sure whatever happens, rain or shine, I'll be there. First is World Economic Forum Davos, the other is this one, World Islamic Economic Forum. This time for 2017, it's for the first time in Borneo, in Sarawak, in Kuching, and you have missed it. But I'm recording this just for you. I have great people here at WIEF that have stopped them on their track and extracted them to be here. And with me today, you're very, very lucky. You cannot get these two anywhere else in the world together. First, closest to me is Mark Prensky, the founder and executive director of this cool institution called the Global Future Education Foundation and Institute, which are telling you that maybe lots of the things that you expect of your kids, they're wrong in education. Another guy who's very also interesting and know nuts about IoT and technology threat to security or revolutionary opportunity, but Professor Arif Ansari from USC, University of Southern California, is very, very good in data science and also operations. So, Marshall Business School.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm just going to go straight to it. Since Mark is here, I've seen tons of this YouTube. I'm just going to ask this. Malaysia, Sarawak included, many of us, we are a developing nation. So when we were growing up in the 60s and 70s, we were being told, study hard, get the A's, go to a good university, you'll be fine. So we saw this corresponding trajectory of our countries developing and moving into the middle income trap. But now, here we are, it's a trap. Many countries, Malaysia included, seem so hard to break the middle income to go to developed nation status. And now people look back at education, hey, maybe we have produced robots. They know how to get A's, but you know, they just memorize things. They're not coming up with new IPs or intellectual properties. Where's the fundamental research? Where's the Gates of Malaysia? All the Zuckerbergs. So I'm going to look at you. You've been all around the world. You've looked at the developed and the developing and the undeveloped nations. What do you think?
I think there's a huge opportunity for places like this, because what happens is that most people have said, let's go into the rankings rat race. Let's go and try to push higher and higher. There's 2 billion kids in the world. You're not going to win on that rat race. There are always going to be people in China and everywhere else that are better. What we need in this new age, where we have all the technology replacing everybody who can do what they used to do, is uniqueness. What every kid needs to figure out is what they care about, what they're good at, what they love to do. And if every kid does that and we help them, and then they pursue that and become really unique, they will succeed. And a great example of that I just shared with somebody is American basketball. I come from San Francisco. Okay. We have the Warriors, we have Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids want to be Steph Curry. Okay. What did Steph Curry do? He said, there's a lot of basketball players in the world, and many of them are good, and many of them are taller than me, and many of them, he said, I'm going to be the specialist in three-point shots. I'm going to be the best in the world in three-point shots. And he is. And so if everybody in Malaysia, if everybody in this country says, I'm going to find out what I do best, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to apply that to making Malaysia and the world better, then I think we can leapfrog.
But this education system that generally we have around the world right now, it's not from the fourth industrial revolution. It came from the previous revolutions, yes, where you put one learned person in front, and they're supposed to tell 30, 40 other younger people that this is how it is. This is how the world is. So how could I identify one special kid? Actually, they are all special kids, they are all right. But I have to go with uniformity.
That's the biggest mistake that we can make, is to go with uniformity. It's same with a parent. If you think all your kids are the same and you have more than one kid, you know that's not true. So we have to figure out how to help kids become individuals and work in teams. And there's an easy way to do that, which is called projects to make the world better. And that's what's starting to happen in the world. So instead of the teacher teaching, we don't need the teachers to do that. YouTube does that now. That's the biggest
Correct.
teacher in the world.
Yeah.
We need the teachers to coach the kids through projects that can help improve their world so that they learn that they can improve the world, that they know how to improve the world, because that's their education. It's not about knowledge anymore. It's not about STEM anymore. It's about each kid finding what they are best at and pursuing it.
Okay. Prof. Ansari,
Okay.
you know, before you go, you know, you're at one of the, if a parent in Malaysia can send their kids to your university,
Yes.
that's it. They have made it.
Yeah.
And you receive people in the School of Business looking at data scientists and operation. So it's no small feat.
Yeah,
it's not
there's a way
easy to get there. But how do you look down the supply chain coming to you? Batches after batches of students.
Yeah.
Are they like that, like what Mark is saying? Or are they, regimented, thinking, memorizing, or whatever it is?
Wonderful. Yeah. He's an expert. I don't want to contradict him, but I have to give my perspective
Sure.
as a professor. Now, what we have done is we have completely changed everything on the head. The first thing is to understand what the future is going to be. People are talking about innovation. No, it is much deeper than innovation.
Okay.
So I coined 3 words in terms of innovation. The first one is called rapid innovation.
Okay.
The second one is called radical innovation, the 3 R's. The third one is called relentless innovation.
Okay. Rapid, radical, relentless. Okay.
Radical, rapid,
Yeah,
relentless.
relentless.
In addition to this, as a nation, what is most important is called responsible innovation.
Okay.
These 4 R's are very important. So we are inculcating that principle in our kids. It's not just telling them, okay, go get a degree, go be an expert, but think about this. The world is going to change rapidly, number 1.
Correct.
Number 2, what we're also inculcating is 2 principles, right? In terms of education. One is called critical thinking.
All right.
Learning to think inside the box and dig deeper.
Okay.
Another one is called creative thinking. It's hard to teach creative thinking, but you can sensitize them to that. So that's the first principle, right? So this is what we're doing. What we're doing is the world is changing, right? The taste is changing. So we have to make our kids who are coming in to our system to be aware of these things. At the most, what we can do, let me contradict him a little bit,
Sure.
right? In the sense, you know what I mean? You can learn things from YouTube. I don't disagree with it.
Okay.
But for me, there's a big difference between informational and functional.
All right.
We believe in making our students functional.
Okay.
Informational means I know. I can sit here and speak about IoT, data mining,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, AI for hours. People be informed, but they cannot be functional.
Yes.
And we don't really disagree on that.
Exactly.
Because what I talk about is accomplishment.
Exactly.
And so we always used to focus on achievement
Yeah.
and on getting up to the top. But now we have to focus people on getting things done
Yes.
in the real world.
Yes, I'll tell you one more thing, right? Why US is succeeding where the other countries are failing, right? This is based on my own experience as well as my experience from my own kids.
Yeah.
When I say kids, my personal kids as well as my students. America gives the confidence that you can fail multiple times
Okay.
and still you can succeed.
Okay.
Not in other countries.
Yes.
That is the biggest thing which
Okay.
limits your imagination, your creativity, and
I like
everybody
that.
wants to be a follower rather than
Yeah.
be a leader.
I'll take that point, but I have to go for the first break.
Okay.
And I would like to take, it was a full house when Steve Wozniak spoke.
Yeah.
And he said he designed the calculators, the first Apple, the second Apple. He didn't even graduate from college at that time. And he could do this world-changing stuff, right? And he said, nowadays people keep telling, stop doing that, but he just had the freedom to do what he wanted to do. And it's not about failing, because if you have that itch to deliver something or build something, then you go at it and go at it. So how do we transfer that into the education system that we have now? Because the first thing many people ask, did you graduate? Did you have a degree or diploma or graduate degree or whatever it is? Why is paper qualification and A so important when it's what I can do, what I can build, and what I can imbue into wherever I am and whatever project I'm with is the more concerning thing right now. Want to lay on top of that the big data that many people still
Yes.
don't understand. And right after this short break. You are still watching a very special recorded session of World Economic Forum, Islamic Economic Forum 2017 in Kuching, in Sarawak, and in Borneo for the first time ever. You're not going to meet these two at the same place at the same time, hardly, because Mark Prensky goes all over the world to argue the point that we need the education system to look at what's important, and what's important is the student. You know, every individual is unique in the world. We should enhance that, not uniform them to one regimented ways. And from Professor Ansari, we've seen how, yes, university is changing, but my point is, if the pace of change is very, very fast from the fourth industrial revolution, can the education system cope and survive? Because if learnings are more and more being taken out into the informal way of learning, why would a kid respect a teacher in class if the kid thinks, hey, the teacher don't even know how to use Excel sheets. I help the teacher program the marks in the classroom. And that's at primary level. What more at university, where if I can design my own supercomputer without even finishing my degree in computer science, for example, why do I have to learn all this? And people keep quoting Bill Gates. Now we know Steve Wozniak, you know, he did it without his degree. And you don't actually need a formal, you know, degree in that sense. And I'm looking at US giving us Singularity University. I'm looking at level 42 in France, where it's not really based on paper and schematics anymore.
Yeah. Okay, once again, forgive me for taking
Sure,
the
go ahead.
contradictory view.
Yeah.
Right? The same question was posed to me some time ago.
All right.
I challenged them.
Okay.
Right? For example, Bill Gates. Right? Bill Gates is a smart guy. He didn't graduate. He created the company. But why does Bill Gates hire so many PhDs, so many MBAs, and so many master students? You need a critical mass to support one person. Not everybody can be that particular person. So that's what we are doing. What we are doing is we are creating what is called the pyramid structure. So that somebody on the top can stand and guide. See, these are the people who are very unique. Like, you know what I mean? Einstein, Newton said,
like
I'm able to see.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they need others under the pyramid.
Exactly. What Newton said is, I'm able to see further than anybody else. Because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. What we are doing is we are creating the giants, individual pieces. On top of it, as you said, the creative people can stand and leverage them. If you look at Steve, you know what I mean, Steve Jobs, he needed an army of people. Same thing with Bill Gates. Everybody needs an army of people, right? That's one thing I agree with you. At the same time, we have to give a chance to each one of them to be like that.
Mark?
I think that what we do too much of is what you described before, which is inculcate. Right? We want to give the people what we think is good. What we do a lot less of, and what we need to, is listen and bring out what's already there. So that we may have lots of things developing, but in terms of, and I personally think what doesn't help us in this respect is the academic system that has been developed of education. There's an academic tradition of education, which is thinking. There's an accomplishment tradition of education, which is getting things done, which has gone into businesses. And the problem is that academics is not enough for the future world. We don't just need thinkers. And therefore, unless we can change, and you sound like you're already thinking in these directions, not giving kids courses, not showing them this, helping them understand that one of the skills they need is leadership, one of the skills they need is followership, one of the skills they need is entrepreneurship, one of the skills they need is innovation. But let's not focus too much on any one of these skills. Innovation can be good and it can be bad. The gas chamber was an innovation.
Yes, wrong innovation.
Right, an irresponsible innovation and a terrible innovation. But let's not just say innovation is good for its own sake. What I think we want to do is have good, effective, world-improving people. And that's the goal. And if every kid knew that your job was to become a good person, like maybe the Dalai Lama would say, an effective person in whatever it is that you love to do, and that what you do is directed at improving your world in some way, small or big, then I think we'd do well. And the other thing where I agree with you is uniqueness. If people are not unique, everybody is unique as an individual. If they don't figure out what about them is particularly unique in a way that helps the world, then they will not get anywhere. But if they can figure that out, if they can say, you know, That's what Steve Jobs did. He
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. He couldn't do what Wozniak did. But he was an incredible marketer and communicator and designer. And so he said, I'm going to do that.
Yes.
And that's what made him special. And there's probably millions of people out there in the world of 8 billion
Yes.
who can all do that. And I hope they all do.
Yes. To give my point, you know what I mean?
Sure.
The universities, as I said, you know what I mean? We cannot change, like we are, you know what I mean, what do you call a big crude ship.
Yes.
We cannot make a 360-degree
Suddenly,
turn
yeah.
like that. But we are doing. What we are doing at my own university, at USC, we are giving them multi-majors at the undergraduate level.
All right.
They can pick and choose what they want. Let me give an example, right? Most students come there, they want to do engineering. Pretty soon, what they do is, they're doing engineering with communication, with dance school. You can't even imagine. People are coming and doing business and cinema and dentistry.
All right.
So people are discovering. We have to give them the opportunity. As you said, yes, we have to make it. But at the same time, now for us, what is more important is we have to differentiate the kids who are informative and functional.
Okay. The World Economic Forum is great. A lot of people go there, very important people. 2016, they came out with Fourth Industrial Revolution, say this is happening. But I want to bring the box and open it a bit more. I want to look at the future of humanity itself.
Yeah.
Whatever technological innovation is, at the end of the day, we are still human. And we know the world maybe is not a better place in many respects as to when our forefathers handed it down to our generation. We have more pollution now, there's lesser ice sheets and blocks in the North and the South Pole, for example. There are less flora and fauna, some have even gone extinct during our watch, and we have more technology now. And despite having elite universities and many, many more universities in developing nations, the world is still not at peace. We have more problems now, maybe politically and otherwise, than we had before. So if we produce all these graduates and learned people and academics and scientists and social scientists, why is the world not going toward a more utopian, more ideal scenario of humanity? Where is the future of humanity, the Fourth Industrial Revolution and the education system? We'll talk about that with these two great guys right after this break. I went to the Science University in Penang, lovely island you guys should go to. It's a science university. The ex-vice chancellor came back from the meeting of the world vice chancellors, and I said, so tell me what's great about it? He said, we all agreed that we have failed. I said, what do you mean? We have failed because all these leaders that's doing all these problems, they were our graduates. How come the world's not more sustainable? We only have one planet Earth. The way we're consuming things, our consumption rate, it's like we need 4 planet Earth in the future. And the world is heading towards the other side of 8 billion, not the lesser side. So with all that, Fourth Industrial Revolution, education, higher or otherwise, why are we not going to a better world?
Someday I'm going to write a book called Earthlings, because we bring up our kids in a very old-fashioned way. We say, you are not an earthling, you are part of this tribe, you are part of this nation, you are part of this thing, you need to protect that, you need to fight people who are not part of that. And that's been incredibly destructive, and that's, I think, why we haven't gotten anywhere. The opportunity we have now is we have the first horizontally connected worldwide generation. The kids in Sawarak think the same as the kids in New York, or the kids in Russia, or the kids in India. And I hope that when we figure that out, when they start talking to each other, when they start playing games with each other, when we get past the simplicity of what we're doing now with Facebook and WeChat and all that, we will get to a stage where they can collaborate and where they can take the ideas. They know we have messed up the planet.
Yes.
They all know that. They don't like us for that, but they, I think, are starting to know that they have the opportunity to improve that. And that, I think, is the biggest thing that technology can do for us positively.
Professor?
Wonderful. What you said is exactly right. You know, we are living in a global island.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, you know what I mean? What happened is if you go 5-6 generations back, right? What has happened is accumulation of wealth has been given the first priority. Now we have reached a point at which, you know what I mean, everybody's getting one kid. and they're treating them like little emperors.
World Economic Forum this year in January told us that only 8 families in the world own as much as half the world's population.
Exactly.
Good figure.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's changing now. As he said, no, every kid is well aware. See, this is what I learned from my mother. She said, you know what I mean, without magnanimity, there's no humanity.
Okay.
Now, this same principle is being inculcated even in every kid's mind.
Okay.
What they're saying is what? Slowly, this concept is coming back. I want to leave this world a better place. And this technology is going to help. Let me give you an example.
Sure.
The solar revolution is cutting down the carbon things, you know what I mean, a lot. But the population is growing, you know what I mean? The needs are growing, but it will change. People are thinking in that type of aspect of it.
Because we do not need to waste things anymore.
Exactly.
If we build a hospital,
Yeah.
if we use IoT, big data,
Yeah,
everything else, we can tailor a solution straight to the individual. That's what you're saying. If the individual get enhanced to their full capabilities, we will become better as slaves.
Yes, not only that, but some kids will want to improve the environment.
Yep.
Some kids will want to take us out into outer space. Some kids will want to get rid of racism. They will each focus on something that matters to them.
Yes.
And we can't tell them. I was part of the first generation that was pushed into science when Sputnik went up in the world.
Right.
And it took me all through college to get out of math and science. I like it, but it's not what I wanted to do for a living.
So you're not worried about this decline in the interest of the younger generation in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics?
Not at all, because there are plenty of kids who are interested. And what we have to do is take those kids who are interested, give them the maximum opportunities to go, and even whether they come from a poor country or a rich country, but the ones that want to go there, let's push them and give them the opportunity. The ones that don't want to go there, the ones that want to be dancers or environmentalists or anything else, they should go there. And then we'll have people, if we have a world where everybody is doing what they love, that's going to be a very different world.
I agree with them, 100%. You know, what has happened is we are rank ordering people and we are deciding what they should do. If you look at the fundamental aspect of it, if everybody knows I can make a decent living, that rat race will go away. Okay. Today what we have is the rat race. That rat race will have to go away. Let me give you an example. You know, you are talking about how you're going to improve the world. The technologies are improving the world. That's one of the things in my IoT talk. A simple sensor is able to save $14 billion in wasted fresh produce. Okay. It's unintended consequence. That is in US alone. You know, people are realizing it. People are motivating. For example, one of the biggest things in MBA schools is social entrepreneurship. Who would have thought about social entrepreneurship in an MBA school, in my school? Because everybody thinks about what, making money. But more and more people are joining the social entrepreneurship.
Will this ensure that we have better leaders and better governance and better politics?
Well, when we have people who...
I'm having America in mind.
Yeah.
You know, what can I tell you? Whenever you have a forward movement, 2 steps forward, you get 3 steps back.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And so Donald Trump is from a generation that is the throwback to the states, to the national, we have to be better, we have to all this. It's a reaction. It will get over.
It will get over.
We will get over it. But the kids will move us forward.
Professor, in 2 sentences.
Yes. What do you want?
The same response.
Same thing. You know what I mean? With respect to US, yes, US. You know, US is going through a major change. It's a concept of fear. Anytime there's a change in power from one ethnic group to another ethnic group, this is a perception. It's not reality.
Right.
People are fearing it. Once that nonsense goes away, which I call the filter bubble.
Yeah.
People are living in filter bubble. These people are listening to news what they want to listen.
Okay.
These guys are listening to news what they want to listen. That's why you see Republicans are more Republicans than ever before.
Okay.
Democrats are more Democrats than ever before.
But it will pass.
It passes.
Okay, it will pass. That's the thing I want to take out from here. Great 2 panelists that I've ever had on the show. Point is, technology can empower us, but it's up to us to make good about it. So thank you so much to Mark. Thank you so much
you.
for
And listen to the kids.
Yeah, listen to the kids, yes.
I always do. That's why sometimes I'm in trouble with my bosses. But never mind. Send in your own views to all the social media platforms that we have. Download our iOS and Android application. This is Kamara Bari reporting for AWANI, Agenda AWANI at the WIEF 2017. First time ever in Kuching, Sarawak. Good night and goodbye.